Good morning, everyone. Welcome to MandoLessons Live. Hope you're all having a great day, whatever time of the world it is for you. My name's Baron. Welcome to the Saturday. What is this? Episode 113 already? Can't even remember. What is it? Yeah, 113. Party time. Thank you all for joining me. Let's see what we got in the chat here. That was East Tennessee Blues, the song of the day, the tune of the day. We're going to play that one together at the end. A great tune in the key of C. Kind of got away from me at the end there, but it's early here, so what you going to do? We got Lindsay, we got Denise, Sheldon, Betsy, Uncle Bobby, Keith, James, Ursanos, Robert, Kenneth, Sherry, and Rupert. Great to have you all here. And if you're here but not in the chat, say hello. Maybe this is your first time. Don't be bashful. Come meet some friends here in the chat. A lot of regulars, some new faces. Great to see. And yeah, let's just have a good time. If you haven't been here before, the way these work is it's just an hour of Q&A. So I'm here for you. Whatever question you might have, or it can be a simple beginner question. It can be a totally advanced question. No, nothing is off the table. It's all welcome. The more the merrier. I love it when I can't keep up with the chat because it's going by so quick. And what else do I usually say at the beginning? I'm a little tired. I'm in the middle of teaching at Fiddle Hell. Got the shirt on to prove it. It's all weekend. You can still sign up. It's got classes all day today and all day tomorrow. And then you can watch any class for the next, 3 months, I think. There's 175 workshops and a bunch of different instruments. There's concerts. There's jams. Go check it out. I've been having a lot of fun. Last night I taught a classic Quebec fiddle tune, kind of New England Quebec tune, Gaspé Reel. I can't remember how it goes right now. Gaspé Reel, great tune. I don't think it's on my website. I thought it was, but it's not. So it's one of these days I'll get it up there because it's a great tune. It's a well-known Quebec and New England tune. And it's one to know. It's very fun. Let's see. Rupert says, have you been practicing? Well, I've been playing a lot more than I have in the past. Just because Fiddle Hell's here, teaching at some camps. In the depths of the pandemic, I wasn't really playing all that much, just sitting alone at my house. But now I've got some friends out here, been playing at some sessions, and just getting more time on the instrument will polish things up. So not so much practice as just actual time sitting around with the instrument in my hands, which I guess is a form of practice. You can practice by doing the fun stuff exclusively. Just playing is practice. That's how I like to think of it. We got some more folks in here. We got Brian, we got Jam Fingerstyle, Larry, and Aaron. Excellent. James says, what's on the hat? So this is one of my pandemic artist finds. This guy named Dan Reeder. It's a guy who lives in Germany and writes kind of silly songs, kind of all over the map. From some of it's a little kind of edgy, but kind of simple, kind of folky songs about all kinds of different stuff. Check him out if you're interested. I really have been enjoying his music. So I got a hat, and it's got this little dog on it. All right, so let's get the questions rolling. What are y'all thinking about? What have you been playing? I've just been doing fiddle hell. I went to some great workshops, I went to a couple fiddle workshops, learned some Scottish tunes, learned an Irish tune. I've already forgotten them all. I couldn't play them for you if my life depended on it. But I'll get them back at some point. Ethan Satyawan has been doing some mandolin workshops that I dropped in on that were real excellent. All kinds of stuff. Bluebird says, that was cool in the previous tune you played. How you demonstrated how chord shapes could be moved and how the mandolin is tuned in fourths from first to fourth string. Yeah, so it's usually referred to as tuned in fifths from lowest to highest, because the interval is a fifth, whether you're going up or down. There's 5 notes between, whether it's, you're going E, A, D, G, but you're going down in pitch, so you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's fifths. But yeah, so that's kind of something I do a lot of the time, is really try to fill in. I mean, it depends. If there's like a dozen people in the band, I don't want to like take up all the space. But if the tune and the ensemble could use a little space filled in, I'll often play out of these kind of chord shapes. So we've got like the tune's in D, and you can really make a lot of use of chord shapes that you already know to kind of fill in the melody around you. Rupert has a great question. If you are doing a fiddle tune, what is your favorite way to interpret a flick? I honestly don't even know what technically constitutes a flick. Maybe just a little like, is that a flick? In general, I don't try to copy exact ornamentation off of what fiddle players do. I find it a little bit cumbersome because the bow can continue in one direction. You have all this sustain, and then your left hand can do these beautiful little flicks or rolls or things like that. And often on the mandolin, what I do is, if I'm playing with a fiddle player, which I spend a lot of my time doing, I just leave that space open for the fiddle player to have the space for the little variation or the little ornamentation. So that is what you're talking about with the flick. So you can do little pull-offs, or let's see, what's a good... I would say the closest thing to actually producing that sound would be a quick little hammer-on or a quick little pull-off. You could either do or. And the thing with those pull-offs is you really need, if you're hammering on, I've got lessons about this on my website, but they go a little more in depth. But you really got to figure out how to maintain as much of that note value as possible. So if you try to sneak up on it and you don't hit the second note as sort of confidently as you'd like, you lose a lot of that note. You get a lot of volume loss. But if you go nice and confidently with a good amount of kind of pressure into it, you can really get that second note to sound. And similarly with pull-offs, if you just pick your finger straight up, you really lose a lot of that sound. But if you actually pull to the side instead of straight up, and you get this like kind of sound, you can actually get a lot more sound out of it. So is a lot more punchy than going straight off, or versus figuring out ways to really have a bunch of energy still at the end, because you don't have that the continuous sustain of the bow. You really got to be extra kind of aggressive with your left hand in order to maintain that sound. Great question. All right. Ursina says, I'm so stoked today. Managed to learn mostly Moon and Sixpence in only 2 days. Oh, sorry. Moon and Seven Stars. There's a bar in Portland called the Moon and Sixpence. And I always get the Moon and Sixpence and the Moon and Seven Stars mixed up now. How does that go? That's a great tune. I want to play it. I can't remember how it goes. Moon and Seven Stars. Excuse me while I cheat and look up how this tune goes. Yeah, that's a great tune. Love that tune. Thank you for putting that name out there, because I always want to play that tune, but I never remember how it goes, so I don't play it. And then I stop thinking about the name, and then it just doesn't get played as much. But I'm glad you've been working on that. It's definitely one of my favorites. And nice work on, yeah, that's a great tune. You have good taste. James says, I've been having difficulty with pick position when switching between chords and melody. My pick seems to slip into different positions when playing chords. Any thoughts? That's an interesting thought. It's a little hard to kind of diagnose that one over the internet without kind of seeing what's going on. But what I would say is it's good to, if you can figure out a way to have the same technique for chords or for melody, that's going to be helpful because it's one less thing. I would say, the fact that you're noticing it and finding that it's an issue is definitely the most important kind of first step. You got to figure out that, there's something that's causing problems. And then from there, I would just, make yourself some little exercises where, really focusing, pick a tune you really know super well. Let's say like Whiskey Before Breakfast or whatever your favorite tune is, that you don't need to think about the left hand too much, and just really put like 99% of your focus into your right hand, and just do like a measure of like build a little exercise for yourself where you're going back and forth between chords and melody in pretty quick succession. you don't need to play fast, but just give yourself a lot of opportunities to switch between chords and melodies at a speed that you don't need to think about your left hand, and you can really focus in on your right hand and just kind of go slow enough that your right hand can really think about. It's hard to say like how much it's changing because I can't see what you're doing. It could be a slight thing, it could be a more drastic thing, but figure out which one, or maybe a hybrid that really feels good for both, and go from there. Great question, though. Textured picks with bumps help. Yes, that's also true sometimes. I don't personally love the texture, but I know a lot of people do. Brian says, do you know anyone doing in-person beginner mandolin workshops or jams in the Northwest? I don't. I'm new to the Northwest, so I'm not super well versed with the folks around here. I don't know where in the Northwest you are. I would ask on Mandolin Cafe in the forum. Say, hey, is there anybody doing in-person Northwest? Give them your town, and I bet somebody will come out of the woodwork there. Joe says, I discovered your personal channel with all your performances on it and have enjoyed watching. Now I'm interested in tenor guitar too. Cool. Glad you found that. Yeah, so I've got another YouTube channel that's just my name, Baron Collins Hill. And it's not so much lessons. I've done kind of all kinds of different stuff on that over the years. It's even that, I think that channel is even older than MandoLessons. So I think that one was started in 2007. But it's a lot of fiddle tunes, some of which I have lessons on MandoLessons, some of which I don't. Anytime it's some like kind of instrument geekery. Does this work if I just do MandoLessons.com? Or sorry, YouTube.com. Oh man. First, let me make sure that's a good link. Yep. Yeah, so you can find. Here is my. Whoops. Oh boy. Here's my personal YouTube channel. Go give it a follow if you're so inclined. Let's see, maybe if I add a HTTP before that. Oh, interesting. Hopefully one of those links works, but yeah, I actually just put a new. Oh yeah, it looks like both of those worked. I just put a new video up with my friend Sam, who plays guitar and whistle, and we put a little set together and recorded it the other day. James says Banjo Ben is running events in various places across the U.S., which seem to be mostly aimed at beginner intermediate level. Don't know all the locations though. Yeah, I'm not familiar with those. I know Banjo Ben. I would go to his website and see if there's anything in the area. Angel from India, good to have you here. Thanks for joining. Christmas songs, sheet music. I don't really know any Christmas music, really. A lot of it's copyrighted, and I don't know any of it myself, really. But I bet if you ask on Mandolin Cafe, or there's a tablature section. Let me see. Excuse me. Tablature library. Is there a Christmas section in here? Carolyn, classical, reels, jigs. No, there's not a Christmas. There might be like a Christmas mandolin book. Or I would ask on Mandolin Cafe, say, hey, I want to learn some Christmas songs. Where's the best place to do that? And somebody, I'm sure, can point you in the right direction. All right, Alan, good to have you here from London. Yep, a lot of people. So Robert's talking about drilling holes in the picks. A lot of people do that as well, or get picks with like wagons have holes in them already. I don't have one, or I've got a wagon somewhere. I don't know how to say the name. Yep, holes can also help if you find you've got pick slippage. Kenneth says, question, how much do you pay attention to the name and number designation of a tone you play? For example, F is the flat 7 of a G chord, or do you focus more on the sound and not so much the theory. I go sound first. So, you know, if I'm playing a tune, it's muscle memory, it's the sound, it's listening, it's knowing the tune, being familiar with it, all that stuff. I'm not thinking theory while I'm playing, but I can do it if I need to. I can't be like artistically interesting, but I can, you know, I can do like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 5, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 4, 6, 4, 3, 5, 3, 2, 3, 2, 1, 7, 6, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 5, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 4, 6, 4, 3, 5, 3, 2, 1, 7, 1, 2, 1. And that's a great exercise. That's a kind of a notey tune to do it with, but take something like simple, like Jamie Allen. 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 1. So 1, 1, 7, 1, 1, 6, 5, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Really good exercise to kind of get an understanding of those intervals and scale degrees and things like that. Or, you know, just like pick a key, be like, okay, D, 1, and just you can do like improvisation. 1, 3, 2, 4, 3, 2, 3, 1. 1, 2, flat, 3, 2, 3, 1. 1, 2, flat, 3, 2, flat, 3, 1. 1, flat, 7, 1. 1, flat, 7, 1. 6, flat, 6, 5. 6, flat, 6, 5. You can make a little game out of it. Really great thing to work on if you're interested in theory. And theory will, of course, help with other things. It's not a necessity, but make it fun. Oh, nice. The Discord chose it as Tune of the Week. Awesome. We gotta figure out, I gotta put those, there's some great mandolin Discord channels if anyone's into Discord that I gotta get onto my website. You know, it's hard because I would say Ursanos just put the link in, but YouTube doesn't let you, doesn't let anyone add links. I'm the only one that can put links out. Well, Weedle Beetle, probably not saying your name correctly, but from New Orleans is here. Welcome. Chris also. So hey, oh, nice. Yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed. Okay, so Moon and 7 Stars is the Discord tune? I hope so. I'm lost now. But anyway, great tune. Hey, Lewis, good to have you here. Alright, you're really packing it in at a bluegrass jam and taking a lunch break. And watching the stream. Good to have you here. Yep, Tabor grass I've heard of. I haven't looked into it much. But that's in the Portland area. Birmingham, Steve, good to have you here. Eric says, have you learned any interesting Irish tunes lately? I just learned Sonny's Return, aka Paddy Lynn's Delight, from Kieran Hanron's solo album, and it's awesome. I don't know that tune. Let's see. Cool Irish tune. I've kind of been re-remembering a lot of Irish tunes. I spent, you know, the last 18 months just playing the same tunes that were in my head over and over and not remembering other tunes. One I've really been enjoying recently is Brendan Tonra's. A part nice and low down. Not the greatest whistle tune, but whistle players probably figure out a way to do it. They're a flexible bunch. Let's see. Nice, some good resources for Pacific Northwest music. Chris, hi from the UK. Just wanted to say love all the awesome stuff. Cool. Thanks for joining in. Glad you're enjoying it. Thanks for saying hello. Rights of Man, that can be played in E minor or A minor just by moving up a string. Do you have a preference which key you play it in? I find I tend to move to A minor to avoid the pinky stretch. I don't play that tune. I can't honestly even remember how it goes off the top of my head. But I don't tend to play that tune on my own. I think there's a lesson on my website. Yeah, Rights of Man. How does this tune go? I would say whatever I put the sheet music in as. Okay, yeah, so I do play it up in E minor. How does this tune go? Yeah, I can't remember the B part. How does this go? Great tune. I think it's maybe more common in E minor, and that's because in Irish music, the pipes and the whistle and the flute, they won't go below this low D. So if you're playing that's a lot of stuff on that G string, which are notes that you can't hit on a set of pipes or flute or whistle. So E minor is sort of the more normal key. But that said, if you're just playing it and you want to do it in A minor, people do that all the time. So by all means, play it in whatever key you like. But I would say if you're going to learn it and want to play it with other people, E minor is where you're going to mostly find it. All right, Richard from Maryland. Good to have you here. Yep, David Grisman's got a great Christmas album. Jim uses tacky finger to avoid pick slippage. Joy, good to have you here. New subscriber. I've had a mandolin for a long time, but never been able to play much. Learned Whiskey Before Breakfast. Awesome. Glad to hear it. I was just thinking about that Whiskey Before Breakfast video. That was the first fiddle tune that I ever put up on the internet. Like 12 years ago, probably. And the original lesson is no longer there because how many of you remember the early days of YouTube when there was a 10-minute limit to how long any video could be? So after 10 minutes, you couldn't upload it. So it was actually a 2-part video. There was the first part, and then I ran out of time. It went over 10 minutes, so then I had to do a second part. Yeah, that is the lesson that got me started on making lessons on the internet. Roland White and Tristan Scroggins have books out there on Christmas songs. Cool. Good info, Uncle Bobby. Ooh, cool. Richard's got a Northfield Calhoun coming. Those are cool. I've never played one, but I do love a good flat top, flat back mandolin. Rick in Michigan, good to have you here. Good to see you. Joy says, I found it easier for me to play in ADAD. Would you advise using that tuning as my normal tuning as I'm learning, or should I stick to standard tuning? I would stick to standard tuning. Because any tune, that's a great tuning. I love ADAD, but stick to standard tuning. That's ADAD is great for a lot of kind of double stoppy, chordal, drony stuff, but you're gonna miss out on a lot of notes that or a lot of tunes that use that open D, and anything on the G string starts getting a little less accessible if you're tuned up to ADAD. So stick with I would say definitely stick with normal tuning. You'll get used to it real quick. And then if you want to experiment with alternate tunings at any point, that's fun too. Thorleif from Norway, good to have you here. Thanks for joining in. Okay, cool. If anyone wants to join the Discord, you can Google Mando Mansion Discord. I've really been enjoying Discord recently. I think it was mostly originally for like kind of gamers, but there's groups about everything now. The only thing I don't understand is like how to find the groups. It's sort of like you need the link, and you can't just like go in the app and search for servers. But it's nice. It's not. I like it because it's not connected to any like social media platform. It's just its own. I think it's open source. It's free. There's no ads. You're just in. There's no algorithm. It's great. Robert, hello from Alabama. Hello. Awesome. Kenny from Ireland. Good to have you here. Andrea from Wyoming. All sorts of new faces. Love to see it. Thank you all for joining in. Angel says, "What? I have doubt. What will be the reason Trinity and our Aberism is not giving the exam?" I don't know. Sorry, I don't understand the question, Angel. Brendan Yora, a fabulous whistle and fiddle player, lived in Boston for many years. Cool. Okay, Brendan Tonra. There we go. I was like, I don't know Brendan Yora. Yeah. Hey, thank you, JM, for the super chat and for everyone who supports me in any way. Really appreciate it, whether it's coming through super chats or we got a bunch of patrons in the chat, and you can find the links in the description. I got a Patreon page. Patrons get their own special patron-only live stream once a month. So that'll be coming up in probably a couple weeks here. And there's a PayPal link, and kind of whatever way you choose to support, it's greatly appreciated. Not required, but thank you so much. It's the donations is the reason I can make lessons every week and do these live streams and all that kind of fun stuff. Did I just catch up with the chat? You guys are falling down on the job. I'll play a tune and then keep those questions coming. I know, Robert, I'm slow to get on the tune wagon. Silver Spire. I just don't ever play it. I gotta learn it. And then I gotta make a lesson for it. But don't let my lack of lesson for it stop anyone from learning Silver Spire. I can vouch that it's a great tune. I just can't remember how it goes. And I'm sure there's tablature out there for it. Let's see. Stay in the Irish land here. Oh, ooh, all right, perfect. Got a request from James. Little Seneca Square Dance, also known as Waiting for the Federals. Here's a little bit of Seneca Square Dance. Love that tune. Super energetic one. Crest says, night after bonfire night here. So I'm trying to listen to your input and block the sound of fireworks. Nice. Yeah, I just think of it as a over-enthusiastic drummer with poor time trying to play along with us. Ursina says, been contemplating trying my hand at the tin whistle again after I get a bit more skilled at the mandolin. Yeah, definitely do. I wish I played the tin whistle. It's so, like, you think mandolin is portable. I want to learn, like, tin whistle and harmonica, because those things are tiny. Sam, my buddy who I just made that lesson with over on my personal channel, go check that out. You can find him on Instagram as well. He comes with a big roll of whistles. You know, it's like, ends up being like this long and like this big around. But he's got like a dozen whistles. He's got a dozen musical instruments and a roll smaller than a single mandolin. That's the life right there. James from Fly Speck, Virginia. That's a great town name. I like that. The Southeast has the coolest town names. There we go. Got away from me. Dave from Humboldt. Good to have you here. Thanks for joining. Lewis says, some trivia. I gave my tater bug to my brother, who gave it to his neighbor's son, who has it in Guantanamo, where he is serving. Never know where things are going to end up. Yeah, it's wild to track an instrument. I'm glad you're spreading the word of the mandolin, Lewis. You're good at that. Thank you, Joan, for the super chat. Really appreciate it. Oh, glad to answer the questions and do all the videos, Joy. It's what I love doing most. All right, you got to run, but have a good one. Thanks for tuning in while you were here. Nice, cool. I gotta look. So James says there's a great version of Seneca Square Dance on one of the early transatlantic sessions. Yeah, I remember that was some like early YouTube folk. I never saw them live, but if you don't know the transatlantic sessions, it's a bunch of American and Irish and Scottish and English musicians getting together and playing music. Highly recommend checking that out. You can just Google or YouTube, look it up on YouTube. Transatlantic sessions, lots of great stuff. I really watched a lot of those back in the day. Yeah, he's got a lot of ways. He's got like a whistle for every key. He's got the regular like penny whistle, D, and then the one that he plays in the video we just made is a low D, and then he's got like an F and an A and a B flat and a bunch of different keys and types and sounds. Alex has a great question. Any tips for playing standing up when you're not used to it? Yes. So, I might go a little out of focus here, but if you noticed when I'm playing, I've got the instrument, and it doesn't need to be this high off your legs, but like, it's a little hard. I'm entirely blue here. But the mandolin isn't in my lap when I'm sitting, so that means that when I stand up, the mandolin doesn't move. If you've got it so it's sitting down in your lap, you know, I can do it this way. Like, if you have it in your lap when you're sitting and then you stand up and it changes height, that kind of throws your entire technique of your upper half off. So if it's possible, and everybody does it a little different. First of all, straps are really helpful bits of gear for this problem. So if you're not using a strap, I recommend it. And then figuring out a comfortable spot for the mandolin that isn't resting on your legs or is just barely resting on your legs, so that when you stand up, you know, just do this a lot and figure out, you know, there should be nothing changing from above your hips, you know. But, you know, if you're doing, like, if you don't have a strap, you're going to be doing, like, this to, like, this. And if you look at my posture, it's totally different. Like, you can't really play standing up down here. So figure out a way to have your sitting and standing technique to be the same from the hips up. Is my suggestion. And then there are other things, you know, just like getting used to the fact, I would say, technique, or like having your posture, what I was just talking about, the same for sitting and standing is going to be 90% of it. And then there is some, you know, like just the fact of standing and maybe like working around a mic can be different. Or just, you know, like staying comfortable for long periods of time. I would say just, you know, practice both. I often wander around the house just playing mandolin rather than sitting down. I prefer to sit and play if I'm really going to spend a lot of time playing. Whether I'm on stage or not, it's like a lot of people want to stand on stage because it's a little more energetic. I just like to sit. I grew up playing contra dances where you're playing for like 3 hours, like 15 minutes at a time, and then a couple minutes break, and then another 15-minute set. And nobody stands for contra dances. So, I mean, some folks do, but mostly people just sit. Kitchen Girl, a great tune. Sorry, I gotta roll up my sleeve a little bit. One of my favorites, Kitchen Girl. Uncle Bobby says, got to see Transatlantic Session live. Sierra Hull was the guest, and apparently they're still going. Cool. Glad to hear it. And they're touring next year in the UK. Amazing. Joe says, you have a video on the tone guard. Yep, that was the most recent lesson I've made. And what armrest do you like? So I use this McClung from Doug Edwards String. What is it? Hill County String Works is his business name. But the thing about it that I like is it's got a little bit of angle to it. I just like the shape. It's pretty comfortable for my arm. I only got into using armrests because I had a mandolin that had really sharp binding on the corners and it was uncomfortable, you know. And so I slightly prefer them. I don't think they're as I don't think of them as like a necessary accessory, but I like them. And if you want to try them out, there's a bunch of different ones. Cumberland Acoustic makes them. Doug Edwards. So the model is the McClung, MC capital CLUNG. Is my preferred armrest. Lewis says, at the Bluegrass Museum last week, I had a brush with greatness. The Steel Drivers were in town, and their fiddle player showed up and joined for a couple tunes. That's awesome. Is that still... I'm pretty out of touch with the Steel Drivers. Is it still the woman? I can't remember her name. But she's great. If it's still the lineup that I remember from like 10 years ago, I know that Chris Stapleton isn't in the band anymore, but they had a guy, a mandolin player. I can't remember any of their names right now, but yeah, that's awesome. Steel Drivers are great. Did you go to the show? What's the best way to learn how to improvise melody? Are there specific techniques I should be focusing on? Great question, and a very deep question from Crest there. I would say I have a whole series that I recently made on improvising. It's really, I think the biggest takeaways for me on improvising is like listen to a lot of music that has the kind of improvisation that you like. You know, it's just like listening, like learning to play a melody. It's like, well, what kind of melody do you want to play? You want to play Irish tunes? You want to play old time tunes? You want to play bluegrass? You want to play jazz? You want to play classical music? You want to play Tex-Mex? Like, there's so many different kinds. So just listen. Like, if you want to learn that kind of music, listen to a lot of it. And then if you want to learn to improvise in a specific style, like maybe kind of old time, kind of melodic variation style, or more kind of open bluegrass style where you can get a little further away from the melody, or, you know, figure out what kind of improvisation you want to do. Listen a lot, transcribe solos, try to learn other people's improvisation. And then also another thing is just like play the melody a lot to the point where you've got it under your fingers and it's no longer, it doesn't take any brain effort to play the tune. It's just sort of like, okay, I've done this a million times, and that's a good jumping off spot to be like, okay, well, what if I'm going like I got some space in there. Maybe you can go take little bits at a time. You can kind of vary one measure, like you can do improvisation, and then standard melody, improv, and then standard melody. Things like that. It's a huge topic. Just jump right in. Don't be afraid to make mistakes, and it'll come to you. Play along with a lot of recordings as well. Robert says, I sent you the tabs way back when you lived in Maine. Get to it there, son. Worth learning and teaching. Folks will be grateful. I know I've been putting that one off for a long time. I made so many. I haven't done a fiddle tune in a really long time. Mostly because I did like 300 fiddle tunes in the first million years of MandoLessons, and I kind of I got a little burned out on making fiddle tune lessons, but I'm excited. I think 2022 is going to be the comeback of the fiddle tune lessons, because a lot of people were saying that's what they want when I put up the video the other day of like, what do people want? Seems like people want more fiddle tunes, so I'll get to it. Once the holiday season is over, I'll dive in. Those fiddle tune lessons take a lot of work to put together, because I gotta like figure out a version of the tune that's pretty standard, write it out in the like sheet music program, record the lesson, record all the backing tracks, which is a slow version, a fast version, and each of those speeds has a guitar only, mandolin only, and guitar and mandolin. And then I got to upload it all to the website, do the formatting on the website, put it up on YouTube, put it up on Bandcamp, and it's a whole thing. It's like it's the work of 2 or 3 kind of more video centric topic lessons. But I do want to do it. I'm excited to get back into tunes. Betsy says, met up with a fiddle hell teacher Tom Morley and bought a Baron from him so my husband can play along. Awesome. Then I don't know that I've ever met Tom. Maybe I have. Can't remember. But I definitely recognize the name. And Barons are fun. I wish I played Baron. Or knew how anyway. Never tried. Any tips on keeping the mandolin from going out of tune? Like how to put on strings, better tuning pegs, etc. The most common thing for instruments going out, or mandolins going out of tune, is a problem either at the bridge or at the nut with the slots. If the slots are too tight on the string, it'll cause some tension variation below and above the nut, and that will change over time. With kind of putting strings on, it's hard to see here. There's some stuff that's usually not the problem. The way to put strings on, and even like tuning machines, unless they're really cheap, tuning machines and the way you string it is not usually the problem. It's usually having nice, properly slotted bridge and nut. A nice new set of strings will take a little bit to settle in, but then they'll actually be a lot more stable than if your strings get old enough, they start to lose their kind of tuning stability. And the tone, too. What else? I feel like there was one other thing I was going to say. Oh, yeah, like temperature and humidity, kind of climate variations are also going to affect things. So, even, the fact where, like, a mandolin is sitting in a room and you pick it up and you tune it, and then you, like, have it against your stomach for half an hour, that's going to heat the instrument up, which is going to change the stability of the tuning, and you're going to need to tune again. Tammy Richards, yes, I believe that is the name of the fiddle player. Yeah, Uncle Bobby says, I like the position that the armrest puts my right arm. Yeah, it definitely, it's very slight, and again, I'm not trying to say, like, everybody needs an armrest, but I like the ability, it just kind of puts my arm just in a slightly different space that makes everything feel a little more comfortable. Yeah, Ursana says trying to get his wife to play guitar. He can... I support that mission. You should definitely do that. How long were you playing before your first YouTube video in 2007? I started around the year 2000. I can't honestly remember, but it's easy to count from the year 2000, so I say the year 2000. So maybe 7 years, I guess. Yeah, improvisation is intimidating, but you just gotta do it when nobody's listening, play along with recordings, and just do it a lot, and it'll really open up. It helps with so many different things. It helps with improvisation, which is it is its own thing, so it's gonna help itself. But it also just helps with like being able to learn a tune. If you're comfortable improvising, you're gonna be more comfortable like hearing, and you're going to be more comfortable with what sounds come out of what positions on the instrument, and it helps you learn tunes quicker. And just like spending, if you want to learn to improvise, find a recording that you like to play along with, or like maybe some of my backing tracks with like just the guitar going, or like whatever you're interested. Find some resources that are fun to like improvise and like play along with. And just go for it. It's not going to be great at the beginning, but it's not about being great. It's about learning. So just do it a lot. Spend 10 minutes a day improvising. And even improvising like on this, like take a month and improvise 10 minutes on the same tune once a day for that month. And that'll be super helpful. It's something you just kind of got to dive into. Find a way to make it comfortable where you don't feel like anyone's listening. That's why I love playing along with recordings, is they're going to keep doing their thing. You can't derail a recording by like playing really bad sounding notes, and it's just a great way to learn. Owen from Michigan. What are the most important things to focus on learning as a beginner? Aside from learning and practicing tunes, are there essential exercises or skills to work on? I would say learning is a little kind of, and then we're getting close. All right, I'm going to do a lightning round after. This is a great question. And then I'm going to do a lightning round, and then we're going to play East Tennessee Blues together. The sort of kind of non-concrete answer is like learn how to have fun and be engaged with the process. Like, don't feel like, I'm not going to say like you got to learn your scales, because they're helpful, but they're not the most fun thing to play. So if you're like, okay, I'll play scales, and you do it for 2 minutes and you're like, I'm done, that's not very fun, so I'm just going to take a break now. That's not a good way to learn. Like, that's why I love tunes, is because tunes are fun to play. They use scales. You learn scales by playing tunes. You learn arpeggios by playing tunes. And then at some point you can say, okay, I've played a bunch of tunes. Like, maybe I can kind of figure out some of these scale and arpeggio ideas. But, if you focus on having a good time, even if that just means repeating the same thing over and over. Like, I happily just play the same tune over and over, day after day. Because tunes are fun. They're great melodies that have lasted for hundreds of years. And they last because they're good. So, I guess it's hard. Like, I think getting the basic good, like, physical technique so you're not hurting yourself, learning to be aware of things that aren't working, learning to, like, troubleshoot issues on your own, and that just takes practice. Now, you got to do it. You got to make mistakes. You got to have bad technique. Don't never get past technique until you've mastered it, because, watch through the beginner series, get the technique, and then go on and do other stuff, and then you'll be like, wow, okay, this is really uncomfortable. What am I doing wrong? Go back to the beginner series and reset that technique. Technique is like a lifelong thing. It's not something you learn at the beginning, perfect, and then move on to and never think again. Move on from and never think again. Where 6-string guitar is easy to visualize to remember past tunes, does mandolin require more ear? Ooh, interesting question. I mean, I played mandolin first, so I find learning to play tunes on a guitar, I can't visualize it. I can do it. It's like muscle memory, but it's not. I have a much better visualization of the mandolin fretboard than the guitar, because guitar is 4/4 and a random major third, whereas mandolin is just straight fifths. It's very linear and mathematical, and one string is always the same interval from the next, which is not true on the guitar. So the B string on the guitar totally throws me for a loop. But if that's your first instrument, it's probably the one you can visualize with best. Andrea says, my husband has been involved in music for decades. He just bought a mandolin so we could learn together. Awesome. Very much a novice. Great. Welcome. I'm glad you're entering the world of the best musical instrument, the mandolin. Every great player of an instrument started out as a novice. Just keep at it. That's the best advice right there from Chris. Ursula says, there's been a couple times tuning up recently when I've almost got the string in tune. Then there's a bit of a clunk and it's way out of tune again. Again, that's probably a nut slot or a bridge slot. Get those in order. If you're still having the problem, then it could be an issue with a tuning machine, but nut and bridge first. Anyone ever produced a 0-fret mandolin? They're not common, but I have seen them. I can't remember off the top of my head. Joe, thank you for the fiddle tune down payment. Love it. Lunch is over, back to the jam. Have fun, Lewis. Armrest also makes a good reference point for holding the instrument. Also true. Joe says, I've been at it a year and not up to speed. Whew, I was not up to speed. A year in, I was way behind. I was self-taught, so I didn't really have anyone like telling me what to do. And a year in, I was still like trying to figure out the difference between a G, a C, and a D chord. Thank you, Joy, for the super chat as well. All these super chats coming in. Really appreciate it. But yeah, everyone, I don't think I've ever met anyone who knew less than I did after 1 year. I started out really slow, and then I just kind of made up for it by playing a lot. I had like a couple things click in the first couple years, and then was like, okay, this is something I can figure out. And it just was kind of straight repetition for a long time. Ursula says my wife is always listening. Well, get her to play an instrument too. Then it's hard to listen to someone else when you're trying to learn an instrument. So if you're both playing, you're only listening to yourselves. So there you go. Good info from Chris. Ian says, I love the song I'm working on right now until I've learned it. Then I still like it. That's good. Yeah. Don't be afraid to just keep going and going and going on the same tune. All right, let's play a little East Tennessee Blues real quick and then send you on your way. Key of C. Great tune. I'll play the melody. You play the chords. And we'll swap back and forth a couple times. 1, 2, 3. B part. Take it. Improvise your brains out. Nobody's listening. B part. Take it. There you go, see? No problem making mistakes. B part. Take it. B part. So I'll play it together. was kind of a fast one, a really notey, kind of a little more complex tune, but there is a solution. What you can do, once this video has been processed through YouTube, use that little gear icon in the bottom corner, knock it down to 75 or 50% speed, and you're good to go. Yeah, anytime things are, and I run into this too all the time, trying to learn tunes off YouTube. It's like, I gotta learn old, like Road to Lisdoon Varna, and you look at a video and it's like, I can't learn that. That gear icon, it's totally useful. So don't be afraid to slow things down to a speed that you can interact with them. Yeah, that one was a fast, kind of more advanced tune, but keep with it, slow it down, and you'll get it under your fingers for sure. All right, what should we do next week? I think I'm around next week, but let's figure out a tune to play together next week. Something that's not as notey. I'll look at my handy dandy little cheat sheets from Denise. We'll have a good time. Let's see, what do we got? Got a lot of Irish tunes we haven't done yet. Really, I've done play-alongs for like almost half. A lot of Irish tunes we haven't done play-along with. Sherry says, thanks again, always makes my Saturday morning. Glad to hear it. I love doing these. Everybody have a great weekend. Over the waterfall. We did that episode 46. We could do that again. That's been a long time. It's a great classic. That must have been years ago now. If it's more than 52 in the past, let's do Over the Waterfall. Sure. Why not? It's a great tune. That's not the right key. Over the Waterfall it is. A classic. Haven't done it in years. Time to do it. Alright, thank you all so much. Catch up with the last things here. Awesome. Glad everybody enjoying these. Thank you all for the super chats and patronage and PayPal donations. Really appreciate it. Couldn't do it without you. And I'm back to go watch some stuff at Fiddle Hell. Hopefully see some of you there. I'm doing 2 workshops tomorrow as well. So, and if you sign up now, you missed the first 2 days, but you still got, you can watch them for 3 months. You'll have 175 music workshops at your fingertips for 3 months. Not a bad way to go. All right. Thanks so much, everybody. Have a great weekend.